Now, I know you all have heard this because I hear it on a daily basis because I have a Facebook homeschool page. If you don't follow me on there, you might like it. It's a little bit of fun and it gets a little spicy sometimes. But what I hear all the time is how much I am screwing my children up. I hear it on a daily basis from all kinds of people. Let me tell you, that is one of the biggest lies in homeschooling ever, is that you're going to screw your kids up. That they're going to be socially awkward and they're going to fall behind academically and they're going to struggle in the real world, whatever that means. Like we don't live in the real world because we homeschool. And after 10 years of homeschooling, I can tell you that that has not been our experience at all. And my kids are excelling. And not only that, but they're way ahead of their same age peers. And I really got to see that firsthand when my oldest child started going to the local college. I really got to see how he stacked up against kids his own age who were public schooled. One of the lies that we hear constantly is that your kids won't be socialized. Let me just tell you something. As a mom with a kid who's been attending the college, those kids are not socialized. There is a socialization problem all across the board with a lot of these kids, and it's very obvious, and we really have nothing to worry about. Can I just say that? As a homeschool mom, if you have your kids involved in any kind of activity, in church, in groups, co-ops, you have nothing to worry about. I think the socialization thing is just something that people default to. I don't know why. I don't know where this all started. I think it's absolutely silly and ridiculous, but it's normally the first objection that people default to when homeschooling is brought up. It's like, it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. People assume that your kids never leave the house. They don't talk to anybody. They are locked in their rooms all day long, and we never come outside. And I think it's very strange that people think that, like we don't leave the house for whatever reason. Very, very, very strange. My kids have interacted with people of all ages, and I would argue that homeschool children are actually better socialized because most of the time they're spending time with people of all age groups and not just kids their own age in the same classes with the same kids for 12 years of school. Most homeschool kids get a variety of different ages and stages of life, which I love. And my kids can talk to kids very young, and they can talk to people who are senior citizens with no problem. They have friends of all age groups, and I love that for both of them, and it's really been fun to watch those friendships blossom. Another thing that we hear a lot is that our kids are going to fall behind academically because we're not certified teachers. Well, I can tell you something. As somebody who does have a teaching degree, that teaching degree is not going to help you one iota because that teaching degree is meant to teach you how to teach in groups. It's not really meant to teach one-on-one. It doesn't really do that. And a lot of my other teacher friends have said the same thing who went to different colleges. Now, different colleges are going to teach different things, but that's how mine worked. That's how my university worked. And it did not prepare me for homeschooling. It was really just a waste of about $40,000. One of my original reasons for homeschooling is because the data shows that homeschool kids are ahead academically. And when you actually do the research on this, that's what you're going to find out. There's data even on the ACT website, if you go to act.org, that the homeschool kids are outperforming the public school kids. It's just a fact of life. You don't have to like it, but that's the facts. Your curriculum books are going to show you what to do. It is so silly to even think about going to college to get a degree to do homeschooling. It is absolutely unnecessary. Let me tell you, as somebody who has had classroom experience, you do not need to do that. You do not need to go to college to get a bachelor's degree to teach your child. Your curriculum books will take you and guide you through all of the steps. There are even curriculum books that will tell you what to say. It is really cool. And you don't have to teach every subject. A lot of courses, especially for high schoolers, are all online that are totally hands-off for you anyway. I'm not a math person, and I use a curriculum that teaches math to my kids to make it easier. Plus, there's always outside help too and outside courses. You don't need to worry about being qualified by the world standards. Your children are yours, given to you by God, and that qualifies you. They won't be prepared for the real world. What is the real world? That's what I always ask them. Do we not live in the real world? Am I living in pretend world over here in my homeschool room? Is this pretend world? It's such a silly argument, and nobody has ever been able to define that for me. People assume that school equals being prepared. I have never been in another situation that has replicated the school environment. I don't know about you, but as an adult, I have never been in a room with 25 other people my same age. I mean, that's the real world. I have never been in that type of environment since I was in high school. Real life isn't divided into 45-minute time periods. Real life is not being divided by your grade or your age. That's not real life. Real life is being intermixed with people of all ages and stages of life. That's the real world. Homeschoolers are more in the real world than public schoolers, but they're not ready for that argument yet. And then the lie behind all of the lies. At the heart of all of these fears is the idea that parents aren't capable of raising and educating their own children. Now, God gave these children to you and to me to raise. Parents know their children best, and although homeschooling isn't perfect, and there of course are bad examples of homeschooling out there, for the most part, homeschool parents care way more about their kids than a public school teacher is, because that is your child. You're going to care the most about your child. You are going to care the most about their education. You're going to care a lot more than some stranger is going to care. There are hard days and there are challenges that you have to work out, and homeschooling is not perfect, and that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to make this perfect environment. There are challenges with homeschooling, but there are also a lot of challenges with public school, and we have to choose our hard. Do you want to deal with this or do you want to deal with that? For my family, we choose homeschooling. We would rather deal with the challenges of homeschooling than throw our kids into the public school where they're going to teach them all kinds of things that we don't agree with. They're going to have a worldview that is very, very different from ours because we are Christians. So we have to choose what those decisions are going to be, and we have to choose what our heart is. But the biggest lie is that Christians should be afraid to do what God has called them to do. If the Lord has called you to homeschool your kids, don't be afraid. Go into it. Try it. I have been homeschooling for going on 10 years this fall. I can't even believe that. And I was scared at the beginning, but I did it scared. You can do something while being scared to do it. And that's exactly what I did. I put my whole heart and soul into it that very first year, and we have changed and adapted since then. My homeschool then and now doesn't look anything alike. It's so far removed from what it was that very first year, but you will change, grow, and adapt as you go along each year. And it strengthened our family, it strengthened our faith, and it was one of the best decisions we ever made for our family, and I would never change that decision ever. The only thing I would change is I never would have put my oldest in public school. I would have started him out in kindergarten. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and happy homeschooling.